This week has been a terrible week to be a fan of YouTubers. The first thing that happened was that I discovered that my favourite source of trashing MLMs and their shitty as fuck business practices with their customers, Illuminati, was just an irredeemably terrible person who, through accusing a lawyer of plagiarism, which is a really dumb thing to do if you don't have any evidence, was found to have even less respect for laws and respect for her own friends, when it was found that she would easily just throw out false, technically illegal copyright strikes and would happily roleplay as an autistic black woman. When things either don't go her way, one of her friends says something bad about her, just really shitty stuff for the most minor of stuff. And with YouTube being the endless money pit that it is, has found a new way for multi-million-dollar businesses to cough up their advertising bucks, mainly disable ad block entirely, and force even those with the shittiest internet connections to watch a 4K Mega Ultra HD unskippable ad, and force them to sit there while the stupid ad loads. Sometimes you get 2 unskippable ads in a row. And the third problem I've discovered is something that's not really as bad as an abusive narcissist who will do anything illegal to get her own way, or YouTube trying to squeeze as much advertising bucks as possible at the expense of their very own viewers. But it's something that's left me quite disappointed in one of my favourite content creators, Internet Historian. I haven't seen anything wrong in his other videos, like the one he did on Costa Concordia, which I hope he didn't plagiarise, because that remains my favourite video ever by him. So I'm just going to withhold judgment by that. But I am going to talk about his most recent upload that was uploaded, then taken down, then uploaded, and then taken down again. Man in Cave. So it says here that the video has been claimed by Pro-Sportority, what even is that word? Israel, DBA, which is an abbreviation for doing business as Minute Media. It already sounds like a bullshit copyright strike. I mean, Sportority is not even a word as far as I can tell. But the interesting part of the strike is Minute Media. Now, it says here on Minute Media's actual official site that Pro-Sportority, even though it just says Sportority, is actually affiliated with Minute Media. And Minute Media is the owner of Mental Floss. I have absolutely no idea if it means that Pro-Sportority is the owner of Minute Media, or just have some kind of business partnership with them. I tried reading this page. I couldn't really understand any of it. But they are officially affiliated with Minute Media, and also Mental Floss, that one YouTube channel that John and Hank Green have worked on. I went over to r/YouTuber drama, which I know going to Reddit is a terrible idea, but I was originally going to make a video on Illuminati, but that whole situation is just so complex and deals with all kinds of legal and personal bullshit that any video between Illuminati and the YouTubers she used to work with and live with, that I'm just going to go in way over my head, and the video would take like a full-on month to get to a point I'm satisfied with. This, however, is a much easier topic to cover, and thankfully for the Internet Historian, even though he did a very naughty thing, he can still make this right, at least in my eyes. Now back to Mental Floss. There's an article published by Mental Floss and written by one of the writers, I presume, Lucas Riley, called The 1925 Cave Rescue That Captivated the Nation, published in 2018. And as you can see here, it's a pretty long article. Now the video in question, of course, Man in Cave, is also pretty long. So I'm obviously not going to run them side by side while the entirety of Man in Cave plays. And also too, just showing clips of Man in Cave is going to be a bit of a problem since the original video got taken down. So to circumvent any auto detection, I'm going to have to pop the Man in Cave video through my own original hand-built anti-copyright machine. Let's fire her up.
In the state of Kentucky, there is a cave that every now and then demands a sacrifice. January 30th, 1925. A man walks towards the cave with a kerosene lamp in his hand. He hangs up his jacket and ducks into a 5-foot opening. The inside of the cave is narrow. He has to drop down on his hands and knees, crawling through a passageway filled with jagged rocks and choking dust. Then down a chute he had cleared out months earlier. All of the daylight is gone from here, and this lantern is his only source of light.
So the intro that tells us where the cave is, the name of the main character, that was all the Internet Historian's original work. But however, in the first minute, and also within the first few paragraphs of the article, they both mention Collins having to drop down on his hands and knees, the jagged rocks, and his lantern being the only source of light in the cave. It's pretty clear that the Internet Historian at least took inspiration from this article when creating his Man in Cave video. And to be honest, the pacing of Internet Historian's intro and the whole pacing of the intro of the article is, and all the beats, it's pretty much identical, unfortunately. But the main difference between plagiarism and research is that plagiarism is stealing from one source, whereas research is stealing from multiple. And stealing from multiple sources shows that you at least give a shit about what you're producing. You took a bit more time, dragged through more sources rather than just copy pasting one thing you got off Google. Now, of course, for something to be plagiarized and not to have taken inspiration from multiple sources, pretty much the entire video would have to be copied from the Mental Floss article. So what I'm going to do here, there's about 61 minutes in the whole video, I think, well, roughly about it. So I'm just going to pick a random number between 0 and 61. 60, so right at the end. Yeah, should I? Yeah, I'll do it. And I'll just bump it up a bit, and there's 60 seconds in a minute. So 60 minutes 54, or is it 1:00:54? I'll jump to that in the video, and we'll see if it matches anything in the article.
And supposed friend of Floyd was wholly unsympathetic. He erected a sign on the highway which said, 200 yards away, the body of Floyd Collins is imprisoned in Sand Cave. Then he began charging tourists 50 cents apiece for the opportunity to gander into the hole. It's 100 years later, the bear's dead. Let's call it in. Also, remember those claims of Kentucky being an open curse? Well, the state reneged on the deal. They refused to pay many of the rescuers, and most of them went home without any compensation. Some of them did make some money out of the situation, though. They lucked into vaudeville gigs and roamed the country, getting their first-person account. Miller, however, received an astonishing offer, a $50,000 contract from the Chautauqua Lecture Circuit, equivalent to the better part of $1 million in today's money. He declined. He continued to work at the Louisville Courier-Journal. The following year, his coverage of Floyd's story earned him the Pulitzer Prize.
I know what to say, Internet Historian. I love you, man. You're breaking my heart. That is word for word hour 411 of the article by Riley Green. Damn near word for word. And the one thing that wasn't lifted from hour 411 was lifted from hour 142. Now, I'm just going to choose one more example at random, because my internet is being a total bitch right now, and also don't want this video to be too long because I want to do a recap at the end. Okay, here we are. I'm going to choose one more example, but I want this example to be from somewhere in the middle of the video. I'll just click from 0 to 69, which is what I should have done originally, but whatever. 43. That's pretty close to the middle, I'd say. Yeah, I'll choose 43. That was not 69 seconds in a minute. So 43 minutes and 7 seconds. Let's jump to there.
15 minutes later, he emerged from the cave with a bloodied up nose and bruises down his back and shoulders. Burton caught sight and races over to him. Miller just says, for God's sake, just don't let Homer or anyone else back in there. Now, he didn't actually need to worry about Homer going back in there because he was sidelined with illness. But he did, however, need to worry about Gerald, because he was furious. Gerald had warned everyone that putting dozens of people in Sand Cave would cause a collapse. It certainly did. The rest of that day would be wasted, as men threw blame around and screamed at each other about how to handle the cave-in. And Floyd spent the rest of that day alone. The surveyors continued checking the cave throughout the day. By the evening, Carmichael had ordered everyone to an assembly. Gerald took the floor.
You know what? I'm going to do one more for prosperity, but instead of picking a random number, I'm going to go to hour 69 in honor of the video being 69 minutes long. Now, unfortunately, there is no hour 69 in both Internet Historian's video and Riley's article. The closest to hour 69 in Internet Historian's video is hour 71, which I'm going to play for you. And in Riley's article, the closest is hour 73.
Here we are at the Louisville Courier. There's a spirited young newshawk named William Miller. He's talking to his boss, and he's trying to convince him that it's a great idea for him to cover the story of the man trapped in the cave.
Listen up, boss. I'm hearing talk of a man in a cave. He's stuck down there, and I want to get down there, too. Get to the nitty-gritty, you hear?
This is an opportunity for some good PR, Miller. I'm in. But I want us to sponsor that rescue. Picture this. Man saved from cave by Louisville Courier, the finest newspaper in the state. That'll drum up plenty of business.
24-carat idea, boss. I'll make it happen. I'll get down there toot sweet.
So off Miller goes to Floyd's cave. Back over at the cave, Homer is sitting outside trying to recuperate, as Miller wanders up. He glares at the man in his city clothes and answers every question with either a grunt or a one-word answer.
Yeah. Sure.
Finally, he gestures to Sand Cave.
Listen, you want more information? The hole's right behind me. Why don't you go take a look yourself?
Now, Miller is only 21, but he is a slender and determined man. He takes on the challenge. So he removes his suit, drapes himself in coveralls, and grabs a lamp.
Well, Internet Historian did say in his Costa Concordia video that he was done making hour-long content. But if you decide to do one more, why do you just give up and plagiarize an entire mental floss article? Stealing another person's work to claim it as your own and make money off of that, that's a big no-no. And my final verdict is Internet Historian's Man in Cave was plagiarized from Lucas Riley's mental floss article. Pretty much all of it. From the intro to the middle to right to the end, to the overall tone of the video, to even the hour-by-hour retelling of Floyd Collins being trapped in Sand Cave, that was all lifted from the Mental Floss article. It's definitely not fair use, because even though he's making it into a video, he is claiming the script as his own. That's not good. And I'm afraid Internet Historian has gotten a little greedy and a little lazy. I mean, he's mostly hanging around his second channel because the Internet Historian videos take so damn long to write and animate and edit and probably also publish, because New Zealand's internet is pretty similar to what I've got in Australia. Shit. I can see one reason why Internet Historian would want to plagiarize the entire article. It's because it's pretty much already been retold, hour by hour, in Lucas Riley's article. What else can he do, really? I don't want to put the words in the Internet Historian's mouth, but I think he was originally going to make an original video on Man in Cave, but he stumbled upon the Mental Floss article, saw that the entire story had pretty much been covered top to bottom already, and was like, fuck it, I'm taking the whole thing. Unfortunately, this pretty blatant act of plagiarism does make me doubt that the Internet Historian did honestly write, his other videos from the Costa Concordia to Coney 2012, 2012, my stutter is fucking me up again. But if Internet Historian didn't plagiarize his other videos, then he can make the Man in Cave video right and stop being greedy and stop being lazy. Because right now, there are three options for Internet Historian going forward from this. 1, show that he can write and direct his own material, by redoing the entire Man in Cave video without resorting to stealing Lucas Riley's article. That's the first one. The second thing he can do is just credit Lucas Riley and present Man in Cave as a retelling of his article. The third thing is just abandon the whole thing entirely. Just uploading it again as is definitely not transformative enough, because, you know, the scripts, the pacing, the tone, that's all stolen from Lucas Riley's article. So unfortunately for everyone, Internet Historian has resorted to plagiarism to keep his content machine rolling. And even worse, Reddit was right. Even worse, Reddit/YouTube drama was right. It's such a shame, because the whole Floyd Collins video does actually deserve some kind of animated retelling, because it's like so long and there's so many damn characters in it. So if the Internet Historian sees this, he's gonna have to fess up and apologize, because if the other videos weren't plagiarized, he can certainly create his own retelling from the ground up and have it be entertaining, no problem. It's gonna be hard, because Lucas Riley has already told it from the very start to the very end already, and I don't think it's entirely cancelable for the Internet Historian channel, because it's probably proven that he can write his own material, and of course too, the video is taken down instantly, so he probably didn't get much money off of it. So he can take this opportunity to prove that, unlike Illuminati, he is not an irredeemably terrible person. Sure, the Internet Historian has never been the most PC individual. He has made a few jokes about feminism, against the LGBT community, you know, stuff like that. But he does cite Adam from YMS as one of his inspirations, who was both openly gay and a furry, so he's at least not bigoted in that way. He's obviously no left-leaning socialist, but, you know, who cares? He's not like, you know, the hardcore Trumpist January 6er. He seems to be just a relatively moderate conservative, which, you know, I'm no conservative, but that's fine by me. I too like making money and owning things. But you know what I also like? Not stealing from other people.